Welcome to This Commerce Life. We are an unscripted podcast dedicated to small businesses and entrepreneurs in the retail and consumer packaged goods space in Canada and the United States.
I am Phil Chang, co-host and co-founder.
And I'm Kenny Vanucci, co-host and co-founder of This Commerce Life.
Our love is the journey to retail, and our passion is sharing that with you every week.
At least get him to get you a seat.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, what's the matter with them?
Are
you guys are brothers, aren't you?
Standing or are you?
We're standing. Yeah, we're standing.
You can sit and chill out if you like.
Yeah, just relax. Grab a beer. Work's hopefully almost over.
Yeah.
I got my smoothie, so ready.
Okay.
To go.
That's almost like a beer, but that's okay. That's good.
I'll see you one and raise you a froyo is what I'm doing. So I've just come back from playing volleyball, so you can't tell I'm really sweaty. So a froyo will keep me nice and cool. So
nice.
Yeah. Oh, we got one more.
Oh my God, you got all wow. I thought we were going to have. It's Brad, right? Which is Brad?
This is Brad.
That's who I thought we were going to have on. That's cool. Got the whole fam on, except mom and dad. They're not coming on, are they?
No, they went out for supper tonight.
Nice.
Good for them.
Mom and dad out on the town.
Mom and dad killing it. Good. That's awesome. So are you guys still at the office?
Yes. You betcha. Yeah, it's
Really?
that's a farmer's life. You live at your work.
Yeah.
Jeez. And did you just get we just got I'm an East fan. He's in Mississauga, so forget him. I'm an East fan. So we just got the sky just opened up and dropped a crap ton of water. Like it poured fast but furious.
No, we didn't get that here. Maybe for a short bit, maybe for like half an hour or something like that.
Oh man, it just it was fast, like 10 minutes, but it dumped like it was coming down sideways. I thought, holy, and now it's the blue sky.
Well, we've been raining for 3 days. I think we're supposed to rain all week. I think, which is really weird for us. It's kind of unusual.
Yeah, you guys would make really good farmers because you love talking about the weather. So good for you. Yeah.
Well, I'm in Vancouver. What else do we talk about on the Lower Mainland?
No, yeah.
It's 24/7 is the weather. That's all we all talk about down here. It's the weather. Too hot, too cold, too wet, too not wet. It's always weather. Too smoky, not smoky enough.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
That's true. Well, thanks for having us, guys.
No, well, thanks for coming on. Yeah, that's cool. So the only name I knew was so this is how it'll work. We're recording anyway, but this is how we do it. Just so you know, I'll do this with the guests. So we have Hopcott Farms on right for tonight. They are a local farming family out in the valley in Langley. We have two brothers, not Langley.
Yeah, Pitt Meadows.
Yes, Langley. Is it Pitt Meadows? That's Langley. Okay, Pitt Meadows. I'm on the other side. In Pitt Meadows, you guys are second generation, right? The folks started this?
No,
third generation. Grandparents did, then the folks, then you guys. Awesome. So, wow, if you 3 generations, you're not scared of farming. That's pretty impressive in its own right. So why I reached out to, I believe it's Brad on LinkedIn, was mostly because I love the fact that it's generational family. Phil and I both love that. We just love the family stories and why people do this. Love the fact that people still farm, and especially during post-pandemic or during the pandemic, I think we really figured out how crappy our food supply chain is in this country. So it's been critical. Thank God people actually farm. And 2, your support of local is ridiculous. You guys carry a lot of local brands, and local, I mean, not just in the Lower Mainland, but within the province. You have brands from the Okanagan, it looks like from the island, for the interior. So you guys are everywhere. So we were pretty stoked to have you. I just took a chance. I figured, okay, I'll try. Chances are slim to know they'll come on, but I was super thrilled when you guys decided to join us. So what we'll do is it's 45 minutes to an hour. It's your podcast. Literally, all we usually ask of people is just tell us your story, like how this came about, why you do it, why do you continue to do it, where do you think it's going? No trade secrets unless you want to share them. It's your podcast. Do whatever you want. And so at the beginning, introduce yourselves, tell us who you are, and then whoever wants to start and talk about the story, light it up. Phil and I usually chime in if something intrigues us or if we're not too sure what happened, but otherwise, just very informal conversation. That's why we're bugging you guys to sit. I hate for you to stand 45 minutes, but that's okay. That's up to you.
Yeah, it's on. Yeah, I could lower the table, but
you're on a standing desk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you.
It's your guys' call. Whatever makes you happy.
Sounds good.
So whoever wants to start it up,
Yeah.
light her up.
Yeah, one of these guys can. Yeah.
Okay. Looks like I'm getting thrown at it. Yeah, where to start? I mean, I guess we'll just start from
Who
the
are
beginning.
you?
Yeah, we'll start from the
Who are
beginning.
you?
Me personally, my name is Brad Hopcott. I'm the youngest of the Hopcott family. My main role here on the farm is pretty much anything livestock related. So that's raising the cattle, sourcing them out, as well as processing them.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so yeah, I'm on many other things, but mainly that's my main role here on the farm.
Okay, awesome.
And yeah, myself, Travis Hopcott, and my role is more the cranberry side, foreign labor, and I'm the one that is the one that loves to network, collaborate with other businesses. So it was you and I, Kenny, that connected on.
It was okay. I
on
can't remember who it was.
LinkedIn.
Okay, sorry about that.
And yeah, I love the food industry and a lot of the food entrepreneurs in the area. So that's my passion, and then just farm in the background.
Awesome.
Got it.
I'm Jen, the sister. My background is not on the farm per se, like love growing up on the farm, but I never worked on the farm. I worked off the farm for a bit, more like graphic design and bookkeeping. But about 11 years ago, I was able to come back and really get involved in the family business. So I run the farm market, grocery market, butcher shop with the bistro and restaurant. So my passion is food. I'm a total foodie. This is the kind of store that I love to spend hours in shopping and finding new products. And that's what I really wanted the store to be. Like you were saying, lots of local products. So
Tons.
yeah, so I've had a lot of fun building up our what's on our shelves and
That's
yeah,
awesome.
a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And all three still doing it. All three in the fam, and are the folks still involved?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Dad's birthday today, so he's
Oh, well, happy birthday to Dad.
Oh, happy birthday,
Yeah.
Dad.
77 today.
77.
Yeah, he's 77. Yeah,
Wow.
my mom's 69, and
And they're
so,
still plugging away like daily? Like they're there, like actually working, or they got you guys
Yeah.
doing the work finally?
Dad's favorite
Supervisor.
job. Dad's favorite job is to mow the grass. So he's got
Okay.
his big John Deere mower, and he hops on that
Yeah.
and cuts all the grass. So that's
Good.
his favorite thing to do.
Good.
But he still oversees, and he always likes to come in and give his 2 cents on everything. And
Oh, that's a dad.
he's still got lots of good advice. So
Awesome.
And then our mom
Wow.
makes the fudge that we sell in the store.
Okay.
She's the only one that we don't take a piece of. She gets full sales on that one.
That's good. I mean, that's mom. What are you gonna say?
Mom does what she wants. You
Mom
don't
does what
screw
she
with
wants,
Mom.
and
Uh-huh.
yeah. Don't mess with mom. Just
Actually, there's a good example of where the fudge is. Like we're a butcher shop, so when you walk in the front door, we want the first thing you see is the meat case,
right.
and that's what it was supposed to be. And I went on vacation, and when I came back, the fudge stand was in the middle of the store, and it's still there today.
And it will never move.
No,
Yeah.
the first thing you see is fudge actually when you walk in our store.
that's right.
I just love the fact that moms still do that. Like that's mom should do that. That's mom's the boss. Mom can do whatever she
You might
wants.
have missed your chance though, right? Because Mom and Dad are out to dinner, so
Gotta
this
move
might
things
be
around
the
for
time
fun.
to kind of just slide stuff out of the way. So
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I'd make sure I'm there first thing in the morning tomorrow.
Yeah,
to make
yeah,
sure
yeah,
we're
yeah.
back. But
You have to deal with the ramifications afterwards. Yeah.
yeah, like hopefully they don't go back to the store and do a tour, just a last minute checkup or something like that. But
Yeah.
Well, she helps take care of our children, so she has the advantage right now.
oh yeah, okay.
that's good. And then she's grandma too, so okay,
Okay.
that's a
Yeah.
whole different.
So then
world.
the fudge stays.
Yeah,
What do you
fudge
think?
stays. Okay. Okay, so take us back. One of you, doesn't
Yeah.
matter which one, but take us back. Like, where did this all start? Why did it all start? Where did the I guess grandparents come from? Were they here, or did they immigrate, or?
yeah. So I'll start at the beginning, and then
Sure.
anyone can interrupt me. So 1932, that was the year my dad's dad bought the farm for $9,000 back then. It was 105 acres. He came from Ladner area, so there's a Hopcott Road just off a river road.
Right.
Down there. And so 32, it was a dairy farm up until the 50s when Canada adopted the supply managed the quota system. So my papa just his own, he didn't believe in the system basically. And so he decided, let's get out of dairy, let's go into beef. So it was a feedlot to this day. And 96 was a year that Ocean Spray was looking for acreage for cranberries. And so in the late 90s, Dad converted 72 acres of cornfield into cranberries. And so it took about 4 years to do that. And one of the reasons why Dad decided to join Ocean Spray is the co-op model. So it's owned by 700 some grower owners, and so all the proceeds go back to the farm family.
Okay,
so
cool.
Really like that. And then came 2000 and something happened 2000. I'll let someone else describe that. 2003. Do you remember Mad Cow or BSC?
Yeah.
So when the borders shut overnight, and so that was a really pivotal, kind of crucial time because cranberries, when you plant cranberries, it's 3 to 4 years to your first crop. So we're just getting a bit.
You're just coming into it, right?
Yeah, just coming in. It's it's a $2.5 million investment, and you don't get any don't get any crop for those handful of years. So we're just getting the crop. The cranberry prices are almost next to nil. They're 10-12 cents a pound, something like that.
So you're pretty much paying someone else to actually take them away, practically.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, and so.
Wow.
So it was a really crucial time, 2003, and then I'll let someone else take the rest after that.
Yeah, kind of even jumping back a bit. There used to be a big packing house in BC called J&L Beef. So all of our beef that we raised here on the farm, we're all getting processed at J&L, and that production, that processing plant got shut down. So then that's when we were shipping our beef to Washington beef in the States. So of course that's why that border closure really hit us hard.
It's a problem.
We weren't able to ship our cattle down south, so we had to ship them to Alberta. So we were just pretty much losing money on them. So that's where there was a organization called NAFMA. They tour throughout all these kind of unique markets in the States.
Right.
So my parents, they would go on these tours and they would see all these different farms in the United States and all the different unique ways they would diversify their business by adding retail fronts or agritourism. So by going on these tours, they were able to adapt some of those ideas. One of them being a corn maze that we used to do. We started that in 2000. And then as well as our big retail store, the Hopcott Meats, which we broke ground in 2004 and officially opened up in 2006.
So there's a lot of stuff that happened in a pretty tight time. So prior to 96, you're pretty much in raising beef, raising cattle, right? So was there farming at that time, or was it farming for feed, or was it like, what was
farming? It? Yeah, farming for feed.
Farming for feed.
Yeah,
and then
so this is all 72 acres of cranberries that we grow now was all cattle corn.
All cattle corn.
Yeah, we were running 4 to 5,000 head a year.
So, but that was your primary. That was your primary source of revenue.
Yes.
So, we're not Mad Cow yet. So why would what's the motivation to shut down like the sure revenue to wait 4 years for the cranberry? Like, what was it's probably a good move. Obviously, it's not like it hurt, but like what brought that on?
The cattle industry in BC just wasn't doing as well as it could have been in the mid 90s. Like I said, the packing houses, there's multiple other packing houses, and all of them were shutting down. They were kind of getting crushed by the big boys in Alberta. So they just were beating them out on price. So the beef industry was slowly kind of dying a little bit.
Okay, so the cattle problem, like at that point, wasn't the processing was the kicker, and the fact that you were still going to the States at that time already.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so the cattle industry wasn't too healthy, and cranberries. The one of the biggest challenges with anything you grow is who's going to buy it. Growing it is half the battle, and so with Ocean Spray being a cooperative, you had to guarantee. So anyway, so yeah, okay. So and then I don't know, Jennifer, from 2006 on, I don't know, a lot went on too.
Mm-hmm. I think part of that too was our parents. They're very forward-thinking people. They like to think complicated sometimes, but like all these different ideas that they were seeing at these other kind of agritourism and things, being told constantly like their future plan being like they really want their children to take over, but because there's 3 of us, I think part of it was diabolical plan of just keeping us all close by, giving us all jobs like that'll keep us here on the farm.
Makes sense though.
So, and it worked, but yeah, like you're right. Like from 2000 on, it's really rapidly grown in lots of different areas. I mean, even now we have so many ideas of things we'd like to expand on and do. It's almost you just have to rein it in.
Right.
I can't.
I think the reason I was asking was because, I mean, it's good to have foresight, but to actually have the gumption and the courage to do it, that's a different world. Like you're giving up guaranteed income, whether the packing houses are closing. He's got the States, or your mom and dad still have the States. Like they could still get stuff processed. I mean, their timing turned out to be pretty amazing in that. Mm-hmm. You are already started. At least you had cranberries already in the ground going before mad cow hit. So like you've already. I mean, and so you know, it's like you guys, we're all the same. Like I mean, I've been in retail for 40 plus years. Phil's been like this is what we do. Yeah. But you can go see as many places as you want and ideas, but that doesn't mean you execute on any of them potentially. Like they still had.
There's an art to it, right? Yeah, there's an art. Like it's like Tetris, right? Like because we all look at everything and everything looks amazing, and you kind of like, let's do it. And you go, where do I start, right? So
already start
unraveling that and kind of seeing what they want and how to layer it up is a big deal, right? Like, and you're right, like 4 years to. Do we plant them? Yeah. Are they coming? Yeah.
Well, the timing could let's say they decided in 2001 to start planting. Let's say that's the time they start. Well, in 2003, you're only 2 years in. Yeah. You can't export the beef at that point. Nobody's taking our beef. Yeah. Like nobody in the world. You can't get a process in the States. So like your point, you're stuck in Alberta. If you had to wait 2 more years before the cranberries come in, that's a problem, right? There's a revenue.
A long time. Yeah.
That's a big deal. Like
Dad always had a famous saying during those years. It was kind of always, when the cranberries kick in, we'll be doing all right. We said that a lot when the cranberries.
I bet. That's scary.
You should have T-shirts with it. Like, do you sell T-shirts?
You can sell that?
Yeah, sure. That's pretty amazing.
We just have these. We separate. There you go.
Okay, you got to get when the cranberries kick in and the fudge doesn't move or something to that effect. Yeah.
We just planted it. We ripped out an old variety and planted a new one 3 years ago.
Yeah, 2021 we planted we ripped out an old variety, put in a new variety, and so we expect a crop in 2024. So yeah, agriculture teaches you patience big time.
Yeah. So when the cranberries kick in, is coming back a little bit.
See, there you go. They got second round, version 2, volume 2.
Yeah.
But I think farming, like the farming mentality is there's not immediate results or immediate satisfaction. Like you grow up knowing you plant a seed and you wait, right? I guess we've had that mentality, and just being true to who we are, like knowing our brand and knowing who we are, and that comes across as that just like that honest farmer kind of thing that people seem to really navigate to, kind of, and that's something that we keep reminding ourselves of as we grow the business, right? To still stay, one of Travis's favorite words is humble. Stay humble to who we are.
Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget the roots, right? That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Kenny, that's
but God love you though to wait 4 years for it. Like
that's impressive. Like seriously,
I can speak for me. My head's imploding already. Like thinking about waiting 4 years for stuff,
especially if I don't know what else is happening. That in 4 years, I mean, again, look at the timing he had. The timing was thank God, you know, where it was a year or two before, and you're waiting 2 more. I mean, you could. I mean, I hate to say it, but you could be in dire straits pretty quickly, eh?
Yeah, you know, no, like Jen said, with the forward thinking, I mean, diversification is everything on a farm. To put all your eggs in one basket is unless
dangerous.
It's dangerous unless it's supply and managed, generally speaking.
Right.
But yeah, the cranberries opened up a different avenue. The store opened up. The timing of that.
So go back to that. So we're mid 2000. Sorry, because I pushed you guys into a whole different world.
Yeah. So Jen can finish it. Yeah. 2004, we broke ground. 2006, the store opened. 6,000 square feet was the first phase. And
nice size. That's a nice size. It's a lot of real estate, in a store. Even that's a lot of merchandising.
Yep. But so why not double it? So you know that's what we
sure.
did.
Why not, right?
But yeah, obviously when we started minimal staff, it just has grown and grown. People love coming to the farm. They love the story. They love the transparency. That we really try and educate people about the reasons why this and what we do different to the beef and why it's
they love the meat. And they love the meat.
Right, I bet.
Well, plus it's a quality product, right? So we were kind of outgrowing our space, outgrowing our production areas. We were debating a second location or expand. And we settled on expanding, just trying to make it more of a destination. Get people on the farm because that's the source, that's the story, right? So we literally doubled the store in size and added our bistro and kitchen, and now we're up to with the farm about 80 employees.
Wow.
So yeah, like between the store and the farm.
That's a lot of people, though. It's but you're still on the same 105. It was 105. You said, right? 105 acre parcel, or did you have to expand land as well?
No, we just took out crops.
Yeah.
But I get even that because I don't. You can tell. I mean, I garden. Okay, I'm Italian, so like I can do the gardening.
Yeah.
Like I get that, but you know, there's a difference between when you're saying, okay, those 2 pots don't do tomatoes this year, they do something else, but you got 105 acres, you got a finite piece of parcel, you've got cattle, you've got cranberries, and I'm assuming both need some real estate. Like they're not going to. It's not a pen idea. Like you got to have some room. Then you go decide to put, a 12,000 plus square foot store, and I'm assuming you need parking. Like all of a sudden, like you're starting to chew up this parcel pretty quickly.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah. We lease about 120 acres from local farm areas that have owners that don't farm it.
That's cool too.
Yeah. And so yeah, to your point, Kenny, when our land here is about 150,000 an acre plus. That's bare land, no crop, no house.
Yeah, exactly.
On it. So we have a finite amount of space, so we need to use that as efficiently as possible. And so with the retail. And then Jen was probably going to mention last year when we built our abattoir or processing plant, all of that adds to the food security challenges that we have. So you take 15,000 square feet that could be used for a crop, whereas I think we're using that space, allowing a farm gate sale like the store and adding a processing plant. That adds to or tries to help the food security issue. So those are sort of the line of thinking that we went into that.
Thank God you guys do that.
Examples was during that mass flooding that we had.
Right.
Right. That didn't really affect us too much. Our abattoir wasn't open at the time. If that was to happen again, hopefully not. That wouldn't affect us. It wouldn't because our beef is literally here on the farm. Even during COVID, we did not run out of beef. Like our shelves were never empty, right? So it's like that's really important to us to be able to continue to provide the community with this uninterrupted supply of food, right?
Well, it's critical. I mean, we talked about, it was funny. We were talking the other day with a couple of buddies and we were saying how screwed up our commercial real estate's been even, right? So we're moving so much stuff out of the city because the land in the city is ridiculous. And we're pushing a lot of food distribution out into the valley or Chilliwack and beyond, which is fine. But, you know, we had, think of it, 2 years ago, we had rain, just lots of rain. And we've got 4 main ways to get into our city and all are closed. And we're a city of 2.5 million people. And this, you know, between all of us in the metro, like that's insanity. So, you know, if we get a good jolt that they keep saying we're going to get one of these years and you have bridge problems or whatever, like how are we going to manage movement of food or just general supply of food? Like, thank God people are actually doing stuff.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, as what Jen said during the hype of the pandemic. So March, I guess, 2020, our shelves never ran empty, never that whole time. Awesome. And with limits, of course. So it was upwards of 1,500 families that we were able to supply during that time. For you. Because obviously our supply chain is quite short, being right there. So yeah. So anyway, we're pretty proud of where we come from. And Jen was gonna mention the processing plant that was built, and then the corn maze got converted to weddings and events. So again, adding to that country experience, farm experience. And so that's kind of that's that long-winded explanation from 1932 to 2023.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How about it? I just think, sorry, Kenny, I just think, you know, there's something to that whole, you think of where we are now and you think, you know, the country, there are some of us, right, that, you know, we see it faster than others, right? And so you guys and your family have seen it first, and, you know, everyone else is starting to come around to, hey, we actually need to grow more of our own stuff, right? But I think you guys are at the front end of, you know, in marketing, you talk a lot about experiential moments, right? And so like kids, they need to see that a farm can be more than, you know what I mean? Like that, no offense, right? Because you guys actually understand this. I don't. I'm still grasping with waiting 4 years for something to grow. It bends my brain, and I love you guys because you guys can actually, like, you guys actually see it. But like, I think kids need that, right? Like what you guys are doing, the store and the weddings and I was looking at some of the events you've got on the website, and like all of those things make this thing really come to life, right? In a way that we need new generations to be thinking about farming a little bit.
Well, it can't be just you guys and your kids. Like, we got to get other people that want to do this.
But I think that's what I mean, right? Because this is now accessible now, right? Because people actually understand,
right? Hey,
this is what it could look like, right? You know, not kind of what, you know, the media puts. The media would take a picture of your dad on his John Deere, and that would be it, right? That would be farming, right? But it's not, clearly.
No, that's cutting lawn.
Yeah.
Right, which is good too, which is nice.
Which is still fun.
Looks fantastic. It's all good.
I want to cut the grass on a John Deere too. I don't have that much space. I have a little lawnmower. So
I used to do my grandmother's in Grand Forks. I used to love driving the John Deere and cutting. Try not to hit the sprinkler heads, but I loved doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not farming. The farming fact is, you know, you guys got the animals, you've got crops, you're promoting other local, because I've seen the list. Like, you carry a lot of local people who are making a lot of cool things, right? It's all of it.
Yeah, no, the agriculture awareness, that is, I mean, agriculture around here, it still blows us away that agriculture or farming is a tourist attraction. But that just shows how far removed, generally, how far removed people are from agriculture, from their food, which is, you know, it's funny. You go anywhere, most places in the world, you say you're a farmer, that's usually connected to you being perhaps poor, or if you go to the prairies, you say you're a farmer, you know, so is my brother and cousin, but you say you're a farmer here, they almost treat you like a celebrity. They just don't know exactly what you do, and they have all these questions, and obviously we're happy to answer them. But it's agriculture tourism is an industry in itself, for sure.
So what do you get asked for? What do people like? Phil and I are probably those people too. I mean, I grew up in the
I'm 100%
So we were close to farms, we go get our potatoes at the farm. You go, you get a lamb or a cow and all that stuff, but we still weren't really, we're not connected to it. Like, so what do you get? Like, I'm dying to know what people are fascinated about.
They always say to get up at the crack of dawn for some reason.
I understand.
That's not true.
Well, it might be for your dad and mom. I don't know.
Nope.
No.
Dairy farming, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I joke. My dad hates when I say this, but for farmers, we're lazy farmers. Doesn't mean we're lazy, but for farm, we're not the crack of dawn.
Okay.
Type of people. It's we'd rather work later and get up later.
Listen, I'm all over that kind of farming.
But this is new too, right? Like I didn't know that farming had flex hours, right? Like yeah.
I thought you guys all started at 5 o'clock. The rooster crows outside. But I guess if you're not milking, I mean, what do cranberries eat? Loving attention at 6 o'clock in the morning? They're probably sleeping too. They don't really care. They don't need you.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably so. The question I get asked the most is, for the cranberries is like, do they grow in water? I guess is one of the more common questions I get asked, and I don't blame them because all the pictures we ever see. Yeah, but it's like any other plant, just like moist, well-drained soil. We just flood it only for harvest. That's about it. So that's one question. Yeah, we often get asked.
I think for me, people just always asking what do I feed the cattle? They just want to know what kind of feed they're getting.
So what do you feed the cattle?
Steak. Ask too? Okay.
Oh, what the hell? You brought it up. I don't know what the hell you feed cattle. Sure. What do you feed the cattle?
Yeah, like we were talking about before, a lot of the forage that we grow on the farm, like all the cow corn and grass silage, that all gets harvested every year at their respective parts of the season, and that all gets stored. So that's a majority, upwards of 30 to 50% of their diet is just forage, grass or corn. And the remaining 50 is a mixture of different types of grains.
Right. But it's kind of cool then. So, I mean, and it's the whole circle, right? They eat sort of the scraps or not the scraps, but it's kind of the cycle just kind of keeps pushing through.
Yeah. You said circle, and that reminded me of that terminology, or the term of circular economy.
Right.
And that's definitely, I think, what we have here. An animal, once it arrives here, it's here. It comes from a handful of different ranches,
right?
And then it comes here, but conventionally, they can travel up to 5 different times. And so that's carbon footprint reduction. And once they're here with the processing plant on the exact same site, adds to the animal welfare, again, carbon footprint reduction. And then all the waste, Brad can probably speak to that, what we do.
Yeah, we there's these new eco drums that have been introduced for slaughterhouses.
Right.
Where all of the slaughterhouse waste, all the internal organs that don't get used for anything, they usually just get hauled away to a big reduction plant. We have these eco drums that we compost all that material on the farm itself. So all of the slaughterhouse waste, all the blood and everything all gets tossed into this eco drum. And then comes out as kind of like a bone meal, kind of relatively high nitrogen soil.
Wow.
That we spread back onto the fields, reintroduce it back into the fields for fertilizing our crops.
How great is that?
That's really cool.
How cool is that?
Yeah. So we when it comes to circular economy, vertically integrated, we're trying to be that. And no farmer likes any type of waste. And so the fact that, and this is a quick turnaround, about 7 to 10 days later, from unusable to usable product. And so we can reintroduce that back in the field. And so
that quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, that quickly.
Wow.
And then, compost from our retail store kitchen produce that all gets composted and reintroduced. So there's a lot. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg, I think, of a lot of the sustainable practices we do here. But because obviously, as it should be, that's our focus for the long term.
So, but how is that explained well to people? Sorry, Jen. The reason I'm asking is because you know how media is. Media will show us the Cargills and stuff like that, and that type of processing, and then they'll show us the farms, and you only take the best stuff, and then who knows what we do with the weight. Like they always paint the picture that's never the picture that when you actually talk to people. Like, again, I grew up in the Kootenay, so we'd go to Grand Forks a lot because we were in trail, and in the fall, and that's where you got your potatoes and the onions and all the stuff, right? And all the old my mom was Doukhobor, all the old Doukhobor farmers would do this, and they talk to you about how they did this, and it was very handsy. There wasn't, this family's doing all this stuff, so you kind of got a different appreciation from it. And then as you get older, you move into the city, it's all this TV shit about these big bad processors and these big bad farms, and all they're doing is one crop, and it's terrible, all that stuff. And then you get people like you who are actually sort of the old school way of, the land needs to be a little diverse, and it needs to change a little bit. And processing, I didn't realize cattle travel 5 times typically. I never thought of that. I just figured it's gone to a branch to the processor. I didn't realize there was a couple extra trips in there. Didn't realize they were that well traveled, but that's okay. But it's good when you come to your farm. That's where they grow. They're raised. They're fed properly. They're taken care of. Slaughtering. It's part of the process. But at least it's a much nicer way to get your meats accepted, right?
Yeah, Jen was going to say something, but
sorry, Jen.
Difference. I mean, you don't want to slam the big guys or whatever.
We do all the time. Don't worry about it.
I think the bigger you get, you're losing maybe more sight of where you started and more about the dollar. I know
what you're saying. You lose sight of the game. The game wasn't necessarily to produce things fast, efficiently. It was to sort of do the right thing. I don't know if that's the right way to say it.
I mean, people describe our store, like some people will say, I love your product, but you're too expensive. I can't shop there, or I only shop there during special occasions or whatever. And
that's fine.
We always took the stand on that as we don't fight it. We own that. It's like, yes, but here's all the reasons why, right? And let me explain this to you. Or come to the store and let me show you the case, and you don't have to buy the prime rib. Let me show you this cut. And then they take it home and they're like, amazing. And it was like half the price, right? So it's really trying to educate them on all the cuts and ways to save and still get that quality on your table.
Right.
Yeah. Plus with the beef share program that we have as well, to help the economy kind of save a little bit on the meat products.
What's that?
Jennifer can.
Yeah. So we sell full sides or hinds or fronts of animals, but I mean, that's a lot of meat.
That's a lot of meat.
400 pounds or, and that it can be quite pricey. So we had people say, well, I don't want the whole side. I don't have freezer space, or I can't afford that all at one time, but I don't have anyone that I can share with. So we kind of created this beef share to basically allow strangers to share a side of beef. So there's four shares in a side, and we'll share it or sell it to Joe, and then Sandra comes along, and then we sell it to 4 different people, and then we can split it. And so they're splitting a side, so they get the savings without having to find someone that they.
And I don't have to go find a person, because the problem we have is always the same. Like, I want a lamb, or I want a pig. I don't need a full pig. Oh my God! Like, are you kidding me? It's too much. But then you got to phone a couple buddies. Okay, do you want to do a quarter pig? And you think, okay, this is too much freaking work. Like, I don't mind doing it, but I don't want to do all this. So I can actually just call and
say that you
team up with someone who I don't care who they are. I like that.
And we just split it evenly, and then we have our freezer pack. We have 10 different freezer packs, so you can save that way too. And
that's a good way to do it.
We try and our demographic of customers really ranges from we've got our I'll look down, my office is upstairs. I'll look downstairs, and the store is full of men. Just there's 20 men in the store, and they're all buying tenderloins and T-bones and whatever. And then maybe some of the moms come in later, and they're looking more in our discount bin or things that are on sale.
Right.
So we really try and have kind of a full gamut of offerings, right, for all different households.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's really cool. It's very innovative, right? It's really the thing that we all struggle with.
Well, it's what retail struggles with in general, and you figured it out that a little diversity, trying a couple of different things is not gonna hurt. So is it predominantly beef? Is there pork, or is it just beef?
Yeah, I mean because the beef. I mean, we always say the beef is our shining star of our case. So, oh my goodness, if it's 100 foot of case, I would say 65% is beef, but then we've got chicken.
Okay.
some turkey, some lamb, and pork.
Is that all yours, or are you guys bringing that stuff in from other local people that specialize in that?
Yeah, only the chicken is all from through one place in the valley. Pork as well from the valley. Lamb as local as possible. So it's a little bit more seasonal, but
Right.
And like the turkey that we sell at around holiday time is from Langley. So yeah, the meat is really important to us to get local. And then that expands into cheese and bakery and vegetables and all that.
We're dabbling a little bit with raising our own lamb, so that might be the next thing.
Fuck, you guys are awesome.
This makes me so hungry.
Seriously,
between talking to you and then looking at the website, like it's killing me. Like
I just love the fact that the fact that 3 generations in, and you guys are all you're young, and you still like you can tell that you really like this. Like this is
I think to do well at farming, you have to love it. It's you may survive for 4 or 5 years, but it's farming is very. Like there's an old stat across, it was a few years ago now, only 10% of 3rd generation farmers were continuing to farm across Canada. And so we're of that 10%. The fact that it's siblings, that's very, very rare.
Well, the fact you guys still talk to each other, haven't killed each other is huge.
Yeah.
I know, Jen, I kind of,
wait, I don't know. Brothers, right? I could see Jen's face. I'm not.
Well, because you know why? 2 brothers and sometimes.
Well, I'm the oldest sibling also.
That too.
Okay. Just smarter and whatever.
Yeah.
So grandma watches the kids. All 3 have kids?
I got 2.
Yeah, and I have 2.
And are they of age?
Mine are.
Travis, hang on.
Yeah, mine are 16 and 14 now. So.
Any interest in the farm? No interest in the farm.
Not really.
Limited interest in the farm.
Yeah, I think they see. Well, my daughter. I asked my daughter if she wants my job, and she said no, it's too stressful. She can tell, but so
okay.
I don't know.
And Brad, your kids?
Plumbing, so I don't know.
Yeah, mine are 7 and 3. So my 3-year-old little boy, he loves the farm. So we'll see. There's some potential there.
There's a chance at that one.
Yeah, and my 7-year-old girl, she's up in the air about it. She seems weirdly enough she wants to work in the slaughterhouse. So I'm not too sure about that one. But
sharp.
Hey, that's okay too. That's if you can keep this thing going. Travis, I don't know if you should give up on you yet or not. I don't know where this is going.
Yeah. I try to win the Uncle of the Year award every year. That's my role.
Yeah, that's a good one too. That's an important role too.
Listen, he's the middle kid. He'll figure it out. From one middle kid to another, don't worry about it. You got it. It's all good. We all got middle kids. All got it up here. We just need a little time to make things happen. So it's all good.
Yeah. Preaching to the choir, Phil.
Yeah.
That's it. Hang on to that dream. That's all good. I'm the oldest one, so I kind of know where Jen's going. Like the eye roll, I totally understood. It's all good.
Yeah, there you go. You're right, Kenny, about that when you mentioned how ones can picture farming or farmers, and so you mentioned some of the big packers, and we go up against that quite a bit. I mentioned celebrity earlier. To a small degree, farmers are similar to celebrities, and I'll explain why. Because everythithing's magnified, right? Every action of theirs is scrutinized, and I argue that's probably the same with farmers. There's a huge spotlight on farmers, dominantly because we are producing something that we are putting in our bodies and work directly with the environment. So that's and people want a relatively not cheap, but a valuable product. But to do that, but they also want it safe, right? And for something to be safe costs money. And so we're constantly, trying to do our best at the most to produce something that's of high quality, that's of value. And but generally speaking, people really do appreciate what we do. There's always these professions that are ranked the most trusted professions out there, and it's nurse and firefighter, and farmers are usually in the top 3, definitely top 5. And it's so we try to use that to tell the story, because if we don't tell our story, somebody else will. And so,
well, the thing is, and they're not going to tell it well, or they're not going to tell it right because they don't know all the details. Like you can actually raise animals properly for consumption. I mean, it's a circle, it's a cycle. It's been done for tens of thousands of years. It's not brand spanking new, right? And you can do things in an ethical manner, right? I think you just need to make sure that gets out there. I was going to ask you something. Like, so in terms of even where customers are coming from, do you find you get a lot of city like Vancouver coming out? Is it a lot of, I'm assuming it's a lot of support from between Pitt Meadows and Maple Ridge and probably Coquitlam. Like I'm sure it's the locals for sure, but do you find people from the city coming, like from the west side of Vancouver? And
yeah, we have regulars from Richmond, Whistler.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
Squamish, definitely North Vancouver. Wow. I mean, we just hired a CFO. It's kind of a new position for us. She lives in North Vancouver. She's actually she's been a shopper with us, so she's driven here.
Wow.
Just last week, we were closing up. It was 10 minutes after closing time, and this lady rushed into the door, and she's like, "I drove here from Squamish to buy your raw dog food, and can I please come in?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, of course." So like, so they're they're coming from all over. We have regulars that don't drive. They send Uber to come pick up their groceries.
That's
really?
awesome.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
Back. So yeah, I mean, definitely Pitt Meadows, Maple Ridge, some like Langley's growing. I mean, you're like, for some reason, Poco and Coquitlam don't like to cross the bridge too much, but
I know that Pitt Bridge, it's not even it's the easiest one of the whole bunch.
Yeah, but we're definitely getting more. And they always say, "Wow, you guys are a lot closer than I thought." Like, it only took me 5 minutes to get here, and they just live across the bridge. So
Wow.
It's definitely expanding. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
We have people that ask us if we ship, that they used to live around here, and they're like, now I live up country, and they're like, I can't find anything like you. I'm addicted to your jerky. I actually literally had someone email and say they moved to England, and if their mom comes and buys $100 worth of jerky, will it last being shipped over to London? And
no, because she's going to eat it all the way to London.
That's not going to make it to London.
Yeah,
that's plain food.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just kind of interesting for sure. But.
So do you ship? Like, do you, like, if I would, it's, I guess, pretty much not near impossible, but it's difficult.
Well, because everything's so perishable and,
right.
and you want to maintain that quality, it's not something we do a lot of. No.
Right.
No.
And it's most of your stuff, it's service on, like, do you sell to retail? Like, so, like, it's not just straight cuts of meat. Do you process the meat in terms of, like, do you do sausages? Do you do things like that? So do you sell to food service? Do you sell to retailers, or is it just sort of
that's something that we're exploring doing more of. Like we have a whole sausage department. We have 2 big like wood chip smokehouses, so we make
awesome.
I think 12 different kinds of bacon, hams, pepperoni, sausage, salamis. Most of our deli meats are all made in-house.
Wow.
I'm so far away from you guys. How is this even fair?
Pepperoni, yeah, it's a lot. But it's something that we're exploring too. Like we sell pepperoni to some local breweries. We make little charcuterie platters. A local brewery right now has been buying like 100 a weekend to sell it at their brewery. There's a couple other little grocery stores, some restaurants, some bistros that take our stuff. So
I would think food service would be a good avenue, right? Obviously.
Yeah. We're a little picky who we sell to be honest, because we really want whoever we're going to sell to understand the quality and the story and really pass that on.
And be able to sell it, right? So people appreciate it. And I think, again, like, I think him and I, because like COVID really shone the light on seriously how shitty our country is in terms of what we manufacture, whether it's food or anything. Like, we've done a piss poor job for a lot of years. Like, we really have. And it's like, him and I do try to source or search for people like you who are doing stuff. It's local, trying to keep as close to home as possible. We don't need our vegetables traveling more than most people will in a lifetime. Right. I mean, we don't need our beef and pork traveling, 4 or 5 trips where there's millions of people who don't travel at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so bizarre that we should be doing more stuff here. We've got land, we've got space. I mean, maybe not in the lower mainland, but we definitely have it in this province.
Yeah, that's another one of the reasons why we kind of built the abattoir as well, the slaughterhouse, was that I feel like the beef industry in BC is growing a fair bit. There's a lot more people that have been getting into it, but one of the kind of lacking parts of the industry is just to have the capacity to be able to slaughter the animals. So a lot of the slaughterhouses in this area are at full capacity, and they can't get their animals, like local farms can't get their animals processed for probably 6 to 8 months, and they have to place an order for 6 to 8 months in advance to get their animals slaughtered. So you pretty much have to, before you even buy the animal, you got to get a spot set to get it slaughtered.
Right.
So that's what another reason why we opened up the abattoir, was to introduce more opportunity, more space,
capacity,
be able to process other people's animals besides just.
So you're doing that. I was going to ask you, like, you have capacity actually to do yours. Okay, that's really good too. Then, so again, the animals are not traveling. Back to carbon footprint. We don't need these things moving all over the.
Local hobby farmers. They can call us up and we can get their animal in to get cut and wrapped and put in their freezer. So
very cool, very cool. Do you do game as well, or is it just farm raised?
Right now, we're focusing on the beef. That's what we know best. So that was what we were focusing on. We just started branching into processing goat, sheep, and lamb. So that's why we're kind of dabbling in raising lamb a little bit.
That'd be cool.
So that's another opportunity. So we're going to start with that, see how that goes. And if that goes well and we still got more room, we could start getting into possibly pork or any sort of red meat.
Okay, very cool.
So you guys said it was our podcast, so I'm just
light it up, man.
I know we're 53 minutes in this, but I can't leave here without reading about your guys' background and experiences. So and I'm always game for free advice. And so just with your retail experience, I'm just curious what do you think are some of the what are some of the bigger, most common mistakes in retail or trends, or just I mean, I just love just to pick your brain just a little before we end this. But
well, I'll tell you what. First off, I live in East Vancouver, so I would be thrilled to come out and sit with the three of you anyway.
Yeah,
I'll come on buy some steaks. So that one's an easy one we can do sitting down happily. In terms of what, if I was looking in your space, and I know you guys know this too, what you definitely can see is that people are willing to do more than maybe they were 10 or 15 years ago in terms of cooking, right? Probably post 9/11 is when like the food channels and stuff went crazy because people stopped traveling and we were homebound because people were freaking out, right? And then you had the mini recession 08, brought us back into the house. Then the pandemic brings us back in the house. So people are willing to experiment and try different things, but they're a little freaked out sometimes to go too far. So definitively anything where I can come in and ideally have it where, let's say I get a beef roast and I have it prepped and ready to go. The seasoning maybe is on it, or, the potatoes are cut if you grow that, or your local farmers do. Anything where you can do value add, do. Like selling just a steak is wonderful for me because I have no problem cooking. Him and we love cooking. Yeah, so I don't need you to do any shit for me. I'll be happy if you do, but I don't want to pay a premium for it because I'll pay the premium for a great piece of meat. I have no issue with that. But there's a lot of people that would love to have that, but a lot less work for them to do. Almost like go home and put in oven, or the instruction is put on Barbie 5 and 5 or whatever it is for cooking time. So anything you can do processing or extra processing is probably super, super valuable. I'm sure you've seen that, Jen, in the store. Is there anything you can do where I could take home a potato salad even, or whatever it is?
Well, it's. I mean, you're doing it in a lot of ways. Your mini charcuterie and your picnic basket.
Exactly, that's perfect.
Like those sort of things, but being able to almost take it, one step further.
The catering you guys are doing, like any of that stuff. I think that's where the margins are too, in a large respect, right? Like you can cut a piece of meat and you can charge, but you can charge a lot more when you cut that piece of meat and add a sauce to it or anything extra. Like your margins go through the roof because the additional cost of goods is really peanuts. All the front end is the problem. It's not that once it's cut, it's cut.
We do a lot of what you're saying. We actually have a list on our case of 6 different seasonings that you can get a steak and you can pick your seasoning and we'll
right.
coat it for free.
Hey, don't do free. Hey, easy there.
No,
We're just talking margins. We're just talking margins.
We do a lot of home meals. Like our kitchen pumps out. I can't even count like how many meat pies. Like we can't keep our meat pies on the shelf. Shepherd's pies, lasagnas, macaroni and cheese, cabbage rolls, like soups. Like it's crazy how we do a lot of that stuff. We sell like cut up stir fry vegetables already ready to throw in your pan in the produce. But my chef doesn't understand because he's like you guys. He's like, why would I pay that for an already cut up onion when it takes me a minute to cut up an onion? I'm like, because people like to buy a cut up onion, so it's done.
Some people don't know how to cut a stupid onion. Don't kid yourself. People still struggle boiling water. Well, when's it boiling? You're thinking, what do you mean when's it boiling? Look at it. It's not rocket science, man. I mean, this is the simple things in life.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Travis, it's a hard one. Seriously, I would love to come out. If you guys have time, I would come out in a heartbeat just to walk and shoot the shit and look at things. I love retail. I love all this stuff. And I love the fact that you guys are farming at the age you are. And I love the fact this is the 3rd generation. I think this is phenomenal.
I think the only thing that I see, right, that I think I would say is I feel like you guys have a real pulse on what works and what doesn't work. And I think that when you get into retail, there's something about retail. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know whether all of us are just sneaky, we're just sneaky like that, or it's that, kind of glitzy. I don't think it is, but there's something that when you get into retail and you start looking at what you could sell from a propensity, like how much volume you might be able to sell, somewhere along the way, it doesn't matter how seasoned you are, you lose you lose that edge of quality versus volume. So I would say, like, Jen, I love, that comment about being picky. I don't think you should ever stop being picky because your quality is that, right? Like when I look at your site, I look at everything that you guys do. Like, honestly, I'm in Toronto and I'm trying to figure out, could I just fly out there to get some stuff? Like, holy crap, I feel like I could just live and eat in your store. And I think you need to hang on to that quality, right? So don't let a big retailer, don't let anyone kind of come along and go, listen, I could, your picnic baskets, I could sell 1 million of those. And you, like, do you know what I mean? Like, so I think that you need to hang on to that edge and just go, nope, no thanks, right? Like, yeah, I could push so you order 1,000 of those charcuterie boards now, great. I can get to 2,000, but that's it. And then, like, because we're in that age where limited is actually a great thing. In the 90s, it was like, this is unacceptable. Why can't you make 1 million of these, right? Like, you were out of stock at 1,000,001. You must be sketchy. We're in an age where running out means there's an affirmation of quality, right? It's like, we're only willing to put out 1,000 because that's the number that keeps us amazing. So I think you just need to hang on to that and stay amazing, right? Like, your store is amazing. I feel like people just need to come out and see you. And then, like, my gosh, right? The experience is amazing. Kenny, we can't hear you.
Sorry. I think if they got to see you and they got to know you and they hear the story, what do I, seriously. So if I go to Superstore and I buy a T-bone for, I don't know, let's say it's $19 a kilo, $30 a kilo. I don't know what the hell it is. I never look because I usually go to my butcher. But if I do that and I come to your store and I pay double, but I get to meet people and you explain to me how to cook it and I see how you're raising it, what the hell do I care? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, we're not in the days of 1970. I don't eat steak 6 times a week. I'd love to. Sorry, guys, because I love my steak. But my wife would kill me. So we're not doing that. But I like for stuff like this. I don't mind paying the premium. So when people come in, Jen, and they say, well, it's a little expensive. There's other options. There's the Sobeys up the street. There's Safeway. There's Superstore. If that's what you want, that's your price option. If you want really good stuff, and you want to know where it came from, and you want to know it was processed, and you want to know what this thing ate, that's us.
But I think, Kenny, to your point, I think the flip side. So I've been listening to you guys, right? And I think the perspective I can lend is I'm a true city mouse, right? Like, so I live outside of Toronto, like out in the suburbs around Toronto. born and raised, right? Grew up in an apartment building. I live in a house. I have 8 plants that I'm growing that I hope will turn into some vegetables later this year, right? I water them. I don't know what else I'm doing. Like, that's it. I water them, right? And so, like, we literally know nothing.
Squat.
Like, I can speak for the other 1.5 million people that kind of live around me. Is we don't really know anything. We go to farms because that's where you go to pick apples in the fall. You pick strawberries, peaches in August in Ontario. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what we know. And the only benefit I had was one of my friends, her husband was a chef, and he did this really amazing thing. He bought 50 head of cattle, like organic, non-GMO raised, like all of those sort of things. And he opened a restaurant and just went, the one mandate is I'm not going to waste a single scrap of meat. So I will not slaughter a cow until I'm finished the last one. And so the menu, like when you go to the restaurant, the menu literally changes on the fly, right? Because, all the Neanderthals show up and we go, oh, we want a T-bone, you want a tomahawk, blah, 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 blah. And then when those start going away, everyone goes, what do I order? Like, there's nothing else to order, right? And he would go, nah, let me, there's like 18 other cuts. They're just as tasty as all the ones that you think but literally we know 4 cuts, right? Like, and so I feel like people coming to you, it's the same thing, right? Because they come going, well, I need prime rib. Like, that's what I must have. That was what was on Instagram or TikTok. I got to make that. You guys are the guys that go, listen, I can get you prime rib. It's going to cost you this, but these other 3 cuts, they're just as good. And they're not going to cost the same. So I can show you, do you know what I mean? Like, and I think those are moments where you kind of go,
absolutely.
Look, guys, like, yeah, you think you're going to pay more, but I could show you 18 ways to save something and get something just as
I'll show you how to do something
like,
with a flank steak. I'll show you how to do something with a blade steak. I'll show you how to do something with a rump roast. I'll show you how to do all these cool things. Because the meat is going to be phenomenal. Doesn't matter what. Bone marrow. I mean, anything. I mean, now we pay a fortune. My brother and I used to fight for that in the soup.
I'm starving.
And nobody wanted it. Now bone marrow, I got to pay like a T-bone steak to get someone to cut a bone.
You guys are so, you're literally as far away from as you possibly could. Like,
oh yeah, they're not next door. They're not even next door to me. And I'm in East Van. Even Pitt Meadows. I mean, I got to get my passport. I got to find this shit. A lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. Well, that's another draw for us is we have trained carcass butchers that know the entire animal, and one of them is actually a trained chef. Like, he worked at Wildebeest in Gastown, I think.
Gastown, exactly.
And so he loves talking to the customers and telling them what to do with certain cuts.
I love that.
When you come in the store, you can see the butchers through a window, and we encourage you to ask for a butcher. A butcher will come out with his somewhat bloody smock, I guess, but and answer all your questions and help you pick.
That's worth a ton, though. That's gold.
That's how far are they from your house, Kenny?
They're probably about, like on a day where it's not too bad, probably 25 to 30 minutes.
Oh, come
on. That's
on
a good day.
On
a normal, okay, but that's a good day. On a normal shitty day in this city,
do you
which
know
is many of those
25
days,
minutes
it's probably about 45 minutes.
Away. Like, come on, man.
You know what? I'm in East Vancouver, okay? I live 10 blocks from Boundary, and anything past Boundary is too far, okay?
Complain.
We don't leave.
When I come out, I'll sedate Kenny. I'll throw him in the car.
You know what? Forget him, Travis. I'll come out when you want me to come out. I'll come out. I'd love to come out. I'd come out, sit with you for hours, walk the store up. I love doing that. Love doing that.
For lunch, we'll give you our beef brisket sandwich. That's our top seller.
Okay, now you may see me tomorrow. It could be that bad.
Between
awesome.
Jerky, a beef brisket sandwich, and meat
pepperoni.
Meat pies, Kenny. Oh my god.
Oh my god, seriously. Okay, Phil, the next time you're in Vancouver, I'll be there before that. But we're definitely going.
Yeah.
You said you're from Grand Forks?
I was born and raised in Trail.
Oh, okay.
And my mom was born and raised in Grand Forks. My dad's from Italy, but my mom was in Grand Forks.
My husband was raised in Grand Forks, and his sister still lives there.
Oh, cool.
I've been there many times.
So when you come down the hill, like when you just enter Grand Forks from Vancouver, you come down the store on the left-hand side.
Yeah. Okay.
That was my grandmother's and my grandfather's store.
What was their last name?
Goliath.
Goliath. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like
but that was
everyone knows each other, right?
that was their store, and the Varrigans, you know, who was the leader, like was just up the hill. But that was their store through the 40s, 50s. I think my grandmother sold. My Baba sold it in 73 or 74 or something like that. I mean, she's been gone for a while, but
I'm addicted to the borscht there. That Russian borscht.
My mom, my grandmother made borscht. My mom makes like incredible borscht.
The Russian
Incredible borscht. The Russian borscht, not that this shit you get here in the restaurants. The good stuff. Oh my god.
All the butter in
Hey,
the
I sense a trade
the butter,
here.
the butter. Oh my god, I just love all the fat they use. Is so
I think
good.
I'm willing to trade you some of Kenny's mom's borscht.
I am so
whatever
hungry.
you want.
I ate before we came on. I'm so hungry right now. I even got bone marrow in my head now. Oh my god!
You should come to our long table dinner, Kenny. We just put tickets up today.
Are they online?
Yeah, went up today. One of the dishes is an oxtail pho. And
I love oxtail pho.
Oh my god!
There's a place in Vegas. I mean, this is gonna be terrible. It's in a shitty part of town. There's that one crappy restaurant. They do oxtail in the literally. I think it's from 11 o'clock till 4 o'clock in the morning. And you go down there, and there's a couple ethnicities that just love it, and it's freaking packed.
My wife.
I love it.
Oxtail.
You get the extra
my wife's
gelatin,
Filipino, so like she'll murder people for.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Like it's just oh my god,
so good.
It's so amazing.
You guys are making me so hungry.
I'm pretty hungry. Thank you so much for
Travis. Thank you for saying yes.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, thank you so much for coming on. I just love what you guys do. It's
we really do.
important.
Yeah.
If people want to find you individually or as a collective or the farm, best way to find you guys. I found you on LinkedIn, so I'm going to throw that plug just in case you don't. But where do they find you, or how do they find you?
They just call the 465-5000. That's it.
That was easy peasy.
Website contact page. Yeah, on our website contact page is my email, the store email, and we just.
And what's the webpage? HopcottFarms.ca.
Right. Okay, awesome. we'll drop the link down below. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very, very much.
One request is if you guys start building new things,
I really appreciate that, sir.
If land becomes a thing or something else happens, just ping us back. We also do a short version on YouTube. We do something called a Fast Thoughts. So if you ever have new news and you want to be able to get that out, we'd love to have you on. It looks like
if you want the lamb, you get the lamb going or goats going, and they got something cool, or if you're trying something, you want people to know. Like seriously, let us know. We'd be more than happy to support, push. We've got a lot of people listening. We've got retailers that listen to this. So if you guys are looking for pepperoni and jerky, Jen will talk later. Just got to figure out how to package just to get it to them. Let them worry about it. But there's, why not, right? This is great. Support local, baby. Support local.
Okay.
We love it. Thanks, guys. Thank you much.
Guys, appreciate it. Phil, you stick around. You guys, and me call it a day. You've been long enough, probably.
Yeah. All right.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Take care. Bye, guys.
Okay. Come on. Come on. It's not love farmers. Come on.
Love it. I love it. And I'm starving now. I'm just
so hungry. My
dying
God.
now. Like
I just
it's like 11 o'clock at night. I shouldn't be eating anything. And I'm starving now. Like I wanna eat stuff now.
I made chicken for dinner. I am so freaking disappointed I didn't buy steaks. Like all I got in my head is steak and bone marrow. I'm not gonna make it to
oxtail. Oh my God. Well, it's 11 o'clock. I'm not going to make it through the evening here. Like, what the hell?
Your evenings are this less than mine. You're going to be in bed. You're going to be up in 3 hours. You can eat all the oxtail you want. I got to wait till tomorrow morning. I got 10 hours.
No.
Anyway, that was awesome. Very cool.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Cool. Thanks for listening, everybody.